good.
Hear that delay from England.
Yeah, I like that delay. It's great. Andre, Lomachenko currently sits atop the ESPN pound-for-pound list. Where do you rank him among the best in the world right now?
Personally, for me, I have Lomachenko number 2. I have a bad man from Omaha, Nebraska named Terrence Crawford, number 1. And you know, depending on what list, again, you just mentioned the ESPN list, and there are other lists out there that have Lomachenko number 1, and you can't really argue with that. I like the way Terrence Crawford has done it. I like the way he's built his career, and he also cleaned out the 140-pound division, so that's why I have him at the top, but Loma could be there as well.
I agree with your pound-for-pound ranking. It's very close, but I have Crawford 1 and Lomachenko 2. It's almost like 1 and 1A or something like that, or 1A and 1B. Dre, I was there when Luke Campbell lost close to Jorge Linares. He's a good fighter. Obviously, you win a gold medal. You can't not be a good fighter. But he's like a normal human good fighter. He's not like one of those fast, twitchy, electric, whoa, what did I just see good fighter like Lomachenko. Can a guy like Campbell, what kind of a shot do you give him to pull off the upset?
Well, you just mentioned his amateur pedigree. That speaks for itself. They don't give gold medals away. I know because I have one, and I know how hard it was to get that. And Campbell has the reach advantage. He has the height advantage. He's left-handed, and he can box. He's skillful. But like you said, it's the type of skillful that we've seen before. Lomachenko, yeah, he's got a skill set, but he applies his skill set in a different way than we haven't seen before. Yeah, we've seen good footwork, but not quite like that. We've seen combination punching, but not quite like that. That's what Luke Campbell's going to have to deal with. And for most Lomachenko opponents, the issue is from the neck up. Do you believe that you belong, and do you believe that you can win?
You know, Andre, thanks for being on the show, by the way. I'll talk to Max about this when we get off the air, because I know you're on the air in England, so I want to make sure I give you the time. When I think about Lomachenko, you know the question that comes to my mind? I want to know who out there should be fighting him that hasn't yet. Who do we want to see most against him? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I think Luke Campbell's okay. He's a good fighter. But like y'all said, we've seen that before. Some of these other guys that Lomachenko has fought, damn it, they ain't worth being seen, okay? But we've seen them because Lomachenko is that dude. Is there a guy out there, and again, I'll talk to Max about this later, but is there a guy out there that should be in the ring with Lomachenko that we haven't seen, that you believe belongs in the ring with him and can give everybody their money's worth with this guy?
Well, I think first things first. Saturday night, Luke Campbell, even though on paper it looks like Loma has the advantage, and he does, right. Let's see if he could pull it off in Luke Campbell's home country. That being said, we have, obviously another title fight, or one other title, and Richard Comey getting ready to fight Teofimo Lopez. I would like to see Lomachenko try to unify the 135-pound division. That being said, I would love to see Loma go down to 130 and deal with the likes of a Gervonta Davis, a Miguel Burchell, a Tevin Farmer, those types of people, a Jamel Herring. That's when I think the icing will be on the cake, and you'll be able to say once and for all that Lomachenko's an all-time great.
Dre, when you say those kind of people, but what we're really getting at is, and you and I are broadcast partners, you do the weigh-in on Max on Boxing, we host the fights together on ESPN, we worked on HBO ringside together. When we're in fighter meetings and a special fighter comes in, and Andre Ward comes in, I say, Dre, who out there do you see that's like you when the dust settles? Who do you think's going to be there? I like Tevin Farmer a lot, had him on the show like a lot of the fighters you just mentioned. But the dude who looks different is Tank Davis to me. Do you agree? Is Tank the guy when Gervonta Davis, when the dust settles, is going to be the super fight opponent because he's just in the winner's bracket? Or is it someone else?
It's highly likely. I mean, that's probably the biggest name in that division. But here's the thing, or the issue that I have with Tank Davis, and I know they won't like this, but this is the truth. These are the facts. We don't really know how good Tank Davis is based on the level of competition that he's fought. You can say that I'm old school. You can tag me with that, but you don't get to reinvent the wheel. If you want to be an all-time great, I'm not talking about Twitter followers. I'm not talking about Instagram followers. We need to see you up against another equal or somebody close to you, not the same looking type of guys, not regular guys, but guys that are real threats. Make those kind of fights and then beat those guys. And then you know what? Do it again and then do it again. Then you can start to feel like he's the guy in the division. Until that happens, Max, that's just on paper. Any one of those guys that I named at 130 has the opportunity to have a night against Lomachenko. Not saying they'll do it, but they have the opportunity.
Dre and Max, that's why I asked the question, because the name that kept coming to my mind was Gervonta Davis, because I want to see that fight.
I knew that's where you were going, too.
That's exactly where I was going. But I want to ask you this. Is that fight Has Lomachenko been devoid of that kind of fight? Is it politics, or is there actually guys running from this dude because he's been so magnificent? I saw him make a Nicholas Waters quit, for crying out loud. Quit! I couldn't believe it, but it happened.
I think it's a mixed bag. I think it's a mixed bag. I think some guys are ducking Lomachenko, but I don't think Gervonta is. I think there's a line there. You know, he's on one side of the line, Lomachenko's on the other side of the line. But we gotta like figure out how to get that line out the way and allow these guys to meet. When are we gonna see these guys meet? When they're past their prime? Or when one guy gets beat? Let's do it now while both guys are on the rise and everybody's clamoring about the event. That's the type of fight we need to determine who the best is in the 130, 135 division.
Andre, you said you had Terence Crawford 1, Lomachenko 2. I agree, but I think it's very close. I think performance to performance, I'm judging who. Luke Campbell is credible enough for me. Like, you don't get to be a belt holder with a gold medal, and unless you can fight. If Lomachenko goes overseas to his backyard and lights him up, Dre, he could take the number 1 spot potentially from Crawford to me. What say you?
I'm not sure I'm really ready to do that. I mean, Luke Campbell is definitely, he's a formidable opponent, and he's a threat. And again, Loma traveled to this fight. He's in the UK, and you have to consider that. But I don't know if a fight against Luke Campbell will cause me to put him atop Terence Crawford. I'd have to see Terence Crawford's next fight, depending on who he fights and how he looks, to be able to make that determination.
By the way, before I let you get on out of here, since you brought up Terence Crawford, and I don't disagree with you or Max on it, I get it, but I want to know why y'all haven't mentioned Errol Spence Jr. and where y'all have him ranked right now in y'all pound-for-pound picture. Can y'all give it to me, please? 4. You? What about you, Dre?
Max.
I got him 4. I got Crawford 1, Lomachenko 2, Canelo 3, Spence 4.
What about you, Or? What about you, Dre?
Listen, Errol Spence, hence his nickname, is the truth. But again, I got to see him continue to fight guys like Sean Porter, eventually fight a Terence Crawford before I can give him that top 2, top 1, top 3 spot. Right now, I got him somewhere around 6 and 7. And again, it's not because he don't have it. I just need to see him against better competition.
I understand that, Dre, but you haven't seen Terence Crawford fight those people either.
What you mean?
I'm just saying, when you talk...
Terence Crawford went on the road. Terence Crawford went on the road and fought in the UK against Ricky Burns. He was the champion at that time. He fought Yuriorkis Gamboa when Gamboa was undefeated.
I've never been a big Gamboa guy.
Those are good
but
wins.
Listen,
Those are good wins.
Ricky